Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows and movies in anime, currently featuring Steven Universe, Miraculous Ladybug, New Powerpuff Girls, Starburst, The Force of Evil, and RWBY. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hey, y'all.
Today, Delaney and I will be previewing Volume 4 of RWBY. Our RWBY coverage is back, starting with this podcast, and we'll be taking you through every episode of Volume 4 of Rooster Teeth's RWBY here on the Overly Animated Podcast. You can check us out at overlyanimated.com or search for the Overly Animated Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, or other podcatchers. You could listen on YouTube and leave comments there. You could a bunch of stuff, and you can check out all that information at overlyanimated.com. For Volume 3, we covered every episode of RWBY. That was somehow only 8 months ago. When
Weird.
I mean, they had a pretty fast turnaround this season. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, def.
And then next week, on the 22nd for subscribers, 23rd for non-subscribers, the first episode of Volume 4 will be airing. So we're going to today talk about the character trailer that came out a few weeks ago, the new character designs, and start to speculate on what's to come in Volume 4. So I'm going to give some caveats to our coverage, but before that, if you are listening to this and you have not watched RWBY before, like maybe you listen to to our other podcast and you want to check this out. Once I stop giving this new person spiel, you should not listen more because we're going to talk about spoilers, but you should probably check out RWBY. It's going to be free on Rooster Teeth's website, on Netflix. I don't know if they put Volume 3 on Netflix. I assume
yeah, I don't know. I haven't checked. I mean,
yeah.
Volumes 1 and 2 are def on.
Yeah, you can, if you go on Netflix, you can watch just all the episodes kind of like as a movie. You can check out Rooster Teeth's website to watch them, and they're also on Rooster Teeth's YouTube for most of them or all of them. I'm not sure. So there's a ton of free ways to watch RWBY. It's an online airing only, kind of independent studio created animated show, very video game based. Definitely recommend checking it out and catch up in next week. Probably only takes 4 hours to watch all three volumes. Yeah. And then you can go week to week with us on this volume of coverage. Cool. But from here on out, spoilers. If you are new to our RWBY coverage, but obviously not, new to the show, here are some caveats to how we are covering RWBY. We get more, interesting comments for this show than all of our other ones combined. So I want to preface this. You're not forced to listen to these podcasts. These are us we make very little money on these, and they are freely available. We are a highly critical, critique based, podcast. We approach, like I say in the intro, we approach shows in two ways. We approach it from a fan oriented perspective. So we're going to be excited about stuff that we're excited about, but we're also going to critique the narrative and the characters and any other processes that, we feel like are good or bad. And so and with this show in particular, we're maybe harsher than other shows, but, that I think comes out of passion for it. If we didn't care, then, and I'll talk more about this in a second. If we didn't care, then we wouldn't spend the time to say what's wrong and stuff. And the second thing, which is maybe more highly applicable to a lot of you, is we are fairly progressive in our commentary and our social outlook on the show and on life. So if that's something that maybe doesn't appeal to you, just know that that's going to be infused into all of our discussions. It's not going to always come up, just may or may not come up. And this is not a show that's particularly progressive, so it's something that clashes a lot with our worldview, and we're going to point it out when applicable.
Yep.
And at the very end of this podcast, I'm going to go on a rant about something said during this off season. So you'll get a taste of that here.
Grr.
But again, this is your choice to listen to this. I just want to preface it here.
No one is forcing you.
No one's forcing you. So, but also if you're someone who is also shares a progressive outlook and is frustrated by some of the stuff on RWBY.
Then we're the ultra hippie liberal animation podcast for you.
That is an exact quote from someone. Yeah,
that was so good.
And so it's not always going to apply with this show specifically. It's comes up less progressive critiques, but definitely this is the place you want to be if you want that type of discussion on RWBY. So there, and and then one last thing for me personally, I'm going to say how this applies to me, and then Delaney, you can either co-sign or say how it applies to you. Personally, and this may surprise some people if you listen to other podcasts, I actually care more about the contents of not all aspects, but some aspects of RWBY more than any of the other shows we cover. I like the characters, the main characters of RWBY, like much, and I care about them much more than Steven Universe or any other show. I think this is a much worse show than Steven Universe, but I'm more invested in it. This is something that's maybe not obvious if you listen to our coverage, but, I actually care what happens to Ruby and Weiss and the other characters. And I'm very invested in them. I think this is the biggest strength of RWBY, is that it has a world which really draws you in. I think that's very similar. It's a similar feel, I think, to a similar thing that kind of like Harry Potter and Avatar: The Last Airbender do, is they have this very appealing world, kind of like the aesthetic of the world. I don't think it's necessarily the specifics of the mythology that really drew me in, but it's more of just like kind of the high visual video game inspired world with these female characters with great designs that is very appealing. And I genuinely am more excited by the show than probably by a new episode of Steven Universe. And it's more frustrating to me when it does stuff that I'm not digging, than another show might. And honestly, once I can get past the fact that we're going to get some hate for our coverage of this, that I'm more excited for it coming back than the average show on TV for sure. So, I do really care about the show. That being said, because I care so much, I'm going to be highly critical of it and of the crew that creates it, because I know that they can do better than a lot of the stuff that they're going to do again and again because they don't really learn. But it comes from a place of passion about the show, and it's certainly not my intent to blindly criticize it, but I definitely will, and I think it would be a disservice to the show, to Rooster Teeth, to kind of animation critique in general, to critical critique, and if we did not criticize the show as heavily as we do. So we can only cover this one way, and that's where I'm coming from for anything. This isn't going to apply much to this podcast. We're just kind of ooh, what would happen if this happened?
Yeah, ooh.
But once episode 1 comes out and they do something
there
stupid,
will be some stuff.
Then we'll rant about it. So that's where I'm coming from. You can co-sign that or wherever you want, Delaney, but yeah.
I half co-sign. I don't really put my shows into tiers. If I like something, It's just kind of intense no matter what.
Yeah. RWBY, really? Yeah.
What? Delaney's obsessed with everything? That's so weird. Not a character for her. Well, for RWBY, it's this show has so much potential. And I'm not saying that it's not great as is, but the thing is, it has so much potential. We have 4 main characters. They're all girls. This is amazing, and they fight. This is everything Delaney likes in television. Most of the characters are girls, and they have weapons, and they fight things. That's great. That's just what Delaney loves. But then they do other things, and it's come on. I was rooting for you. Come on, that kind of stuff. So, that's we only cover shows we like. We don't cover shows we don't like. That's stupid. No one wants to listen to a bunch of people complain about a show that they don't like. Why cover it? We love RWBY, but oh my God, it's just, you just want to shake it sometimes. So, we love this show. It's great. I love this show. It's wonderful. But sometimes you're just oh, come on, just why did you do this to me?
Yeah. And yeah, we'll see.
It's always out of a place of love and wanting the show to be the best RWBY it can be. And unfortunately, it just, a lot of times it's not the best RWBY it can be.
Yeah. And so we're coming off of, good stuff. We're coming off of Volume 3, which Delaney and I, if you listen to our previous coverage, said was the worst season of the show. Looking back, I think if you want to say that Volume 1 was worse than Volume 3, I think that's fine. I don't think it's close. I think, for me, at least, Volume 2 is clearly better than the two of them.
Confirmed.
There's some people I've seen that say Volume 3 is clearly the best. People watch the show in different ways, but it's not like me and Delaney are a way off base here. I see other people who also say Volume 3 is the worst. But then again, a lot of the criticism I see is on CO, where people are inherently negative. So I'm not entirely sure. But looking back on Volume 3 very quickly, really the finale stuff was pretty exciting. We have a lot of exciting stuff going into next week. We were coming off of the worst decision and seeing the show is made with the Adam Yang Zarn stuff, which frustrated Delaney and I to no ends. Yeah, I think that's clearly the worst. I mean, if you want, it's either that or the John cheating arc in season one.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's one of the two.
It's one of those.
But it was pretty awful. And we're also coming off a complete mismanagement of the tournament from Volume 3.
Oh, the
which
tournament
created some great fight scenes, but relevance to the plot overall
boredom
was
for like
awful.
weeks.
Yeah, so the season was just very badly structured. But overall, considering the circumstances, I think that I would not call Volume 3 a failure by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, this is like losing the show's creator and then producing still a high quality season of I'm gonna call it, like I'll call it RWBY television. I know it's not on television, but it's like we call Voltron television, you know, and it's airs on Netflix. But yes, producing still a high quality season, even if it was very flawed, I think is still impressive. And I'm interested to see if they can pivot and actually have a season structure that is not frustratingly boring and stuff like that. If they can have. If they can like take advantage of this huge reset that they pulled.
Yeah, like they've set themselves up pretty well. Like they're like, okay, we just hit the reset button. Like they can do whatever they want now. Like, come on, let's see what they can do. Yeah,
so like last season, I remember we were both speculating kind of the whole way through that we're going to kind of blow everything up at the end, which is one of my more frequent predictions, to be fair.
That Dylan always wins.
But this time it was correct. So they actually did blow everything up.
They did blow everything up.
So yeah, that was the one thing I think we called correctly. But I think it was a great decision by them. So like, I think like overall, like we meandered and we did awful stuff in the middle. And we have some super questionable mythology elements that we haven't done anything with, like the maidens, which I didn't even remember was a thing. I had to refresh myself on like Cinder became the Avatar, and she was like, and it's not clear what's going on with that or how that's relevant to the plot. That was super questionable mythology, but we also had great Cinder backstory and stuff like that. But we are ending up at a place that is good. We're hitting the reset button. We can go in any direction we want. I'm not super enthusiastic about where we're starting the season, but there's like infinite potential in where we're going. Certainly.
I'm excited. We'll just have to see.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with the character trailer here. Which was kind of the Volume 4 trailer that they put out, so we can talk about this concept first, which is it's basically like a callback to the Red trailer and the other character-specific trailers that happened before Volume 1. And it just features RWBY in a town outside Vale fighting a bunch of Grimm, and in her new outfit and with some really, really high quality animation. And then we check in on all the other characters at the end for like a few seconds.
Yeah.
I actually think this is a great idea for the show, just to do season trailers. Like, I don't think you need to do your traditional, like, splice some clips up from the rest of the season. Just, like, have some fight scene. That's the thing. A fight scene kind of is a preview of the season. Like, even if this has nothing to do with the rest of the season, it's a scene that's not going to be shown in the season. This is kind of like what the show is about.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that's what's so great about RWBY is like we get some amazing fight scenes. So if you have clips, like you kind of ruin it a little bit, because that's part of the fun. It's like we know there's going to be fights. We know how the show works, but like you never know really how like some of the fights are just really amazing. So you don't want to waste that like awe factor.
Yeah, and that's something we haven't mentioned yet. I think Volume 3 potentially had more high quality fight scenes than the other seasons.
Like even though the tournament was terrible, there were some stellar fight scenes.
There's some good ones in the tournament. I rewatched the last episode, and the Pyrrha Cinder fight was incredible. I remember we had in the one before the last one, we had kind of RWBY, and now see it's gonna take me a while to get back into all the characters, but no, Neo and the now dead guy,
what's his face?
I think that on top of the ship, I think that was a good one, although I don't think some people didn't like that one. What other ones did we have? There's there's a bunch of good ones. We'll get back into it.
Weiss's sister and
we had Winter and Crow. That was a good one too. So certainly the quality, I mean, that's the show's strength, and I don't think that's gone down too much. I mean, we're tracking the quality of fights without Monty directing them, and some of them were definitely Monty infused, and certainly these, I think the general trend was that they were slower. And so we'll see how we get back into the swing of things here. But yeah, so I think that I don't remember where did I start this? So the character trailer, yeah, that's where we were.
the trailer.
So my thoughts on the character trailer generally looks really good, and Ruby's new design looks cool, and that's basically it. Yeah, right.
I was really into the trailer. Like I was enjoying, like the fight scene is like awesome.
Yeah, it's good. It's classic Ruby fighting.
Right.
Game. Yeah.
It was good. I don't know. Like it was just a good way to reintroduce Ruby. Like, I mean, it hasn't been that long since since Volume 3, but I don't know. It was just solid. Obviously, Ruby's outfit is amazing. Like, OMG, Ruby. It's just good. Just good trailer. Obviously, it's not. I mean, the character trailers before Volume 1 are just kind of like magical and like really cool. But I mean, this is a good trailer. I definitely think this is probably like we obviously don't have to have a character trailer before every volume. That would be like unnecessary. But it's good. I really enjoyed it.
I could see them doing this instead of just, like I said, the normal splicing clips.
Right.
Like, yeah.
I mean, I think this is definitely like a better idea. Like, take a little bit of, like, even if it's like the trailer is just something completely separate from like the show. Which I think that's what you were saying is like, nothing in the trailer actually happens this season.
Yeah, which it won't.
But that'd be like, just do something really cool. Like, I'm fine with that. It's neat.
I think, it's a good idea. I mean, I think certainly this isn't as good as the original.
Right. Trailer. I mean, the original trailers are like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, those are classics. I mean, it's been a few years, but those are a little bit untouchable. And
if you haven't seen those, go watch them.
I think people have seen them. I think you're the only one that didn't see them.
In my defense, I literally got introduced to.
If you watch, if you watch on Netflix, you won't necessarily know that they exist, right? So yeah. So at the end of the trailer, we see. I mean, Ruby's fighting the Grim. She fights this giant Grim ape. It's apparently called a Buringle.
What?
Buringle.
Okay.
I mean, I think I would say that it's called Harambe, but Buringle.
Grim.
It's Harambe. And they're fighting that, and then she gets a call from the other members of the former team, Juniper. I don't remember if this is an official thing or not. I remember we're calling them Team Ranger at the end of the season with Ruby now with other 3 members. I think that's probably official, but we're going to call them Team Ranger.
Okay,
RNJR. So I by the way, they were at New York Comic Con recently, the crew and some of the cast, and they've done a bunch of interviews. I haven't been able to keep up with all the interviews. I apologize if I'm missing something. In general, from the ones I saw, they were not saying anything new about the season, so didn't seem like we were missing much. It was more just like, oh, we're not going to talk about spoilers, and I'll talk about why I stopped watching one of the interviews when I get into the ranting portion at the end. But it wasn't this one, but it was
Dylan's mad.
Even different when I was watching. But it's possible I'm missing stuff, so I might not know it's hard to keep track with the what's official info, what's not. Also, with this show specifically, they kind of put info out at a lot of different places.
Yeah, it's like, what is the truth? We don't know.
Yeah, I guess their YouTube and like Twitter and Tumblrs would be the best place to look for stuff. But yeah. So, and then we get a call from them, and then we check in with 2-second shots on the rest of the former Team RWBY. I hope not.
Please get back together.
Yeah. We
Tears.
see tears. We see Weiss presumably in the Schnee mansion, although not sure. Looking solemn. Then we see
give Weiss a hug.
Yeah, definitely. And we see most relevantly, because we don't know the location of Blake.
Right.
We see her at some dock, just standing there. That's it.
It's a gorgeous shot.
Yeah.
But it's Blake. Like, what are you doing, Blake?
Find Blake 2K16.
Yeah, find Blake. Yeah. That's what. Finally, I can update my Tumblr. It'll be Find Blake.
Yeah. There's until we see her, and then we see Yang sitting on a tree stub outside of her dad's house or her house or whatever, looking at her one remaining hand. Like, okay. Yeah, so that's an interesting shot to choose. So we'll go over their designs. That's the most relevant part. But so I think the next thing to talk about are the character designs and where's Blake. So
where's Blake?
So let's talk about the design. So we have these kind of different style designs that they released from there's some other con, and they released these at some point, and then I'm looking at these on their Tumblr with like the October 22nd promo images. But then we also saw all of their designs in action in the character trailer. So now we have like 2 references to see their new designs. All right, so let's talk RWBY first. So, by the way, okay, first of all, originally it seemed like this was going to be, I think they said something like, oh, this is like 3 years later. I don't know why we heard this, but no, it's not. It's 6 to 8 months later. This is where we're starting.
Yeah, I was confused because I remember like it was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be 3 to 4 years later, and then it was like, then I saw the episode, the trailer, and I was like, RWBY looks the same.
They look the same. The designs originally looked more drastic, but it's hard to tell with the different style. I heard at some point through a few years, it is 6 to 8 months. Definitely they confirmed this a few times. So we are 6 to 8 months later. This is very, very much the Avatar Book 3 after Avatar Book 2. Same time period. It's like, how old are the characters? I was thinking about this. It's like RWBY is in the exact same position as Aang was in Book 3. It's like Aang could be 13 or he could be 12.
We don't know.
RWBY is either like 16 or 15. Probably 16 now, and the others are 18 is what we'll call them, but I haven't heard official word on that. But it's also, there's more time between the other volumes than Avatar, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's no telling.
Pretty sure RWBY's 16 and the others are 18. So okay, RWBY's design generally the same.
No, I was like, RWBY's I think definitely changed the least.
She has it's hard to, I don't know, RWBY's it's hard to tell. So the main difference, she has I guess she had, her battle skirt is like more mature now, and she has like the thigh highs, and she's skin showing, so it's like more mature RWBY. I do like the like cartoony versions of all of these, but looking at her in the trailer, I mean, she looks great, obviously, like RWBY's the best, and she in general just looked very good in action too. So,
it's fine, like it's good. Redesigns are always exciting.
Yeah, this is very much them just doing Avatar Book 3. Like,
just for funsies, let's just change their outfits.
I mean, RWBY's clearly heavily inspired by Avatar to start with, and this season in particular, they're like is very much seems like the difference between two. Except the difference is with RWBY, apparently we have like 13 seasons planned. So,
okay, Ooh.
That happened. I don't know. I haven't heard that recently, but definitely at some point I heard that Monty had planned like 14 seasons, and they're like, we have the plans for all the seasons, so okay. Next, let's talk about Weiss. So, for me, I noticed Weiss's changes the most. That involves Weiss being my fave. But,
I mean, that's like me and Blake. Like, Delaney will have like we'll have a breakdown of Blake's new outfit. Like, don't worry.
Weiss is very much even more like princessy and I don't know, like ice princessy, like Elsa looking in this one.
Well, hers is really mature. I feel like she potentially looks the oldest. Just on her redesign. Like, this isn't necessarily like youth, but.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's certainly, I mean, I think this is kind of like the, maybe going to more of a queen look than.
Yeah, it's very ice princess meets like Air, kind of like.
Like Air.
That sounded stupid. I was trying to think like, I mean, because she is like, she's like the heir to this like ridiculously like, to like the company, so. That's kind of like
HEI. R. Yeah. Okay. I thought you were going Airbender. No. Air. Yeah. No. Eris.
The accent.
Haven't you read any RWBY fanfics? Eris is.
I'm so sorry. I've read an embarrassing amount of RWBY fanfics. We'll just leave that alone.
That's the only adjective that you can describe Weiss with.
Eris.
Is Eris.
It's just true. And you have to say it like 6 times.
Yeah. That's like it's. Wait, isn't that what they use for Asami too?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the.
They're basically the same. It's fine.
Yeah. No, they are basically. The same.
So they're the same.
That's why White Rose is the Korosami. That's why. Yeah. There you go. I think people will fight me on that and say Bumblebee is, but they both can be the Korosami. So
we can have more than one Korosami. Like no one's going to complain.
That's okay. So the Weiss's outfit. She has the battle skirt, obviously, which is the big white rose. They could also be called battle skirts. That could be their ship name too.
That'd be pretty solid.
That's the classic scene from season 1. One of the best scenes. And in the character trailer, she's like looking down. She's like this blue pendant on. Sapphire pendant maybe. And looking very sad because she's not with her bae RWBY. And you will see our shipping infused discussions, but these are tons.
And then Delaney ships something literally no one else ships, and it's like I'm alone.
I think you
I know
go
there are
back and
other
forth
people
with,
who
like,
ship it.
people
but,
ship
like,
everything. Come on,
This is true.
These are tongue in cheek, by the way. Come on. So these are people. Yeah. So I think Weiss looks great in the trailer. She's looking. I don't like sad Weiss, so
No.
free her from the scene mansion. Free her. That's my So Blake
Weiss.
is
Blake.
So first of all, the first thing I want to say about Blake is that in the cartoony version of her bow looks like even more prominent, and I'm like, okay, it's Blossom. Like I never thought of this before, but Blake's bow is just a Blossom bow on top of it from Powerpuff 100%. Girls. Yeah. So is Blake Blossom? Is that what that is? I feel like Blake's more of the Buttercup, but I feel like Yang's more of the Buttercup.
I don't know. They can both. Yeah,
that's why they're perfect for each other.
Yes, exactly.
So, what do you think as the Blake expert, Delaney?
Oh, I mean, look at her. Redesign? Like, you can see her stomach. Like, what, Blake? What are you doing? Oh, she just looks great. Like her coat. Like this is also kind of like different. Like this is she's not wearing as much black. Like Blake, what's going on? Like, why are you wearing white?
Is this a less emo phase for? I feel like this is her most emo though.
Like she somehow looks more emo, but she's wearing like mostly white. It's really impressive, honestly. I just love her like outfit, and then I just love Blake. Like Blake's my fave. Like, is she gonna be showing? The main reason Volume 3 was terrible because it was like, where's Blake?
Yeah, there's not enough Blake in Volume 3. Is she gonna? It's hard to tell because she's like standing back to the camera in the shot from the trailer.
This is so dramatic.
I can't really tell if her stomach's gonna be showing always, but if it is, like, okay, Blake.
I mean, if it is, Delaney will be a happy camper.
Yeah, camper. Yeah. She's looking very solemn and angry in the trailer.
But I mean, granted, that's pretty typical. Like that's how Blake is always.
Yeah.
But
so
is she gonna swim? Like where are you, Blake?
Where is Blake? Yeah, we'll talk about that when we talk about Volume 3 left off. But yeah, Blake looking good in the design. Hard to tell from what this is. Is this the white fang symbol on her?
That's what I'm trying to figure out on her leg. Yeah.
I don't remember what the white fangs are. It's been a while.
I don't.
That's also not on her design. She's just facing in different directions, I guess. But
like her design, this design here, I can't tell if it's part of like the weapon or if it like she has something on her thigh, but it's different from this, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. We'll clear things up when we can see different angles. Yeah. Although I would predict that Blake is not in the premiere much, but we'll see. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of only looking back and front, here's Yang turned around in the cartoony version of her. Is her look much different?
Okay, I guess that's a good point. I mean, like, not...
She's wearing different clothes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks different.
I mean, there's a noticeable appendage missing.
Really, yeah. I mean, it's like... I think it's her hair. Her hair just looks really different. It's not... I'm trying to make a joke, and it just, like, fell. Anyway.
No, I don't know what the joke you were trying to make was, but...
Like, I was like, that's why she looks so different. It's her hair.
It's her hair.
Ha.
Yeah,
no, okay. Obviously.
Yeah, looking very not happy.
No, I mean, I wouldn't
from
be happy.
the end of the season. I mean, Yang has to deal with losing her arm into the worst plot device ever. So you know, like I'd be pretty pissed.
Yeah, I'd be ticked.
But yeah, what comments on Yang with her outfit here?
I just feel bad for Yang. I think Yang. I mean, the stylized like picture of her new design looks really cool. Like I'm excited to like see like Yang full on gear ready to like murder people.
Yeah. So maybe
for now I'm just sad for Yang.
For now we're just gonna see sad Yang from sitting on tree stumps and thinking about where Blake is right now.
Yes, she's just where is Blake? Yeah, where is my bae?
Yeah, where's bae? Okay. So that's the character discussions part. So now let's get to some stuff from where we left off. But first, I didn't think of this until now. This is this thing that got me the most excited about RWBY coming back. It's actually the fact that we're going to get a new theme song.
Yes.
I didn't remember this. Yeah, I was like, okay. Yeah, new theme song, new credits. That's going to be exciting.
Like, honestly, it's like a real, it's like number 2 reason to watch RWBY is because the music is amazing.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's so good.
Yeah, so excited for that. I don't think we've seen it yet. I guess I could check. They do generally release the theme song before the season, but I have not seen it on the website yet. I can check now. We're recording this on Sunday, by the way.
I'm just excited. New music. Yeah. Oh, it's good.
Yeah, so I'll fact check this as we go. But okay, so some stuff from where we're leaving off in Volume 3. So I did rewatch the finale, and I was thoroughly confused by by what was. By,
Oh, right, this happened. I forgot.
There's a lot of stuff that happened that we never explained. Yep. So, in case you don't remember, RWBY used her magical angel powers to fix everything.
She went Super Saiyan, and
Super Saiyan combined with the Avatar state, combined with she had angel wings literally come out of her eyes, and then she fixed everything, and she like pins the dragon. She miraculous ladybugs and threw up her hands, and she pins the dragon to the wall, and apparently got rid of all the other monsters. And Cinder may or may not have gotten lost in this as well. And
we're not sure.
Ozpin's missing, and we see a random new human creature at the end called Salem, who is just who's the narrator from the in like so there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense.
We're like, what?
I think I don't remember exactly what our discourse TM was surrounding the finale, but I think I actually liked the way they did the RWBY stuff, even though it made no sense. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, we weren't really surprised that it happened. We were like, because I mean, the whole time we were like, RWBY's a maiden, RWBY's a maiden.
Yeah, but they didn't even confirm this. Like,
I know, like,
it's not.
Well, the thing is, they've explained it now, and she's not a maiden; she's something else.
Well, Ozpin explained it, or not? The Crow explained it.
Yeah,
and
it was like,
he's like, you have silver eyes, so you can get rid of evil or something.
It was like, what?
They may or may not expand that in the explanation.
I don't know if I want them to or not.
Yeah,
I feel like they should, but I'm also like, is it going to be stupid though?
Also, last season, I remember we were very much on the Ozpins are big bad, but then at the end, Salem at the end is like, I'm coming for you, Ozpin, you're going down. So, confirmed probably that Ozpin is in fact the Dumbledore and not the Snape. Yeah. So, or the supposed Snape. Yeah. So, Ozpin's missing, so he's fighting with, Cinder, and then we don't see the end of that, and then Cinder's missing, or we don't really know what's happening in Salem. So, a lot of stuff here. What's the first of these things that you are most interested in seeing resolved?
I mean, there's just so much, and they're all related to each other, and it's just this weird mythology.
Well, we hope that they relate to each other,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess, like, the Ozpin Salem thing, I feel like that's going to be, like, a long-running thing. So that's, I mean, I'm fine if that doesn't get resolved.
We got 10 more seasons of that.
Yeah, I know what I was about to say. I'm like, this is the 13th season plan. Like, we don't need, like, they're not going to talk about this. I guess the Cinder stuff, because I'm going to assume we're, like, even though it's, like, 8 months after, we're clearly still dealing with the aftermath of, like, pure chaos erupting on Remnant. So. Yeah,
for sure. And so how is Cinder involved with the Cinder's? It turns out not to be the big bad. It's Salem controlling everything. Yeah. And like what's happening with the maiden powers now? Is that still relevant?
What about the maidens? And then like how does this relate to RWBY and like whatever the silver eye nonsense is?
Are we still on the RWBY's the summer maiden thing? Like, is that?
I'd see like can she be like it's like can she
have white? Can she have the gray eyes and
can she be both? Like how does this work?
Well, we don't know because they haven't told us. But you know the show is not even close to explain that. But I guess I'm most interested to see who Salem is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love for them to do something with the maidens thing last season. That was such a thing out of left field that didn't make any sense. I assume Ozpin is supposed to be this eternal being who's the old man from the maidens mythology, but who knows if they'll ever say that. And I assume Salem is one of the original maidens. We'll see if this is a thing. Like right now, they introduced this new mythology and then they have more stuff. So I'm assuming this is a relevant part of where we're going.
Basically, they've introduced this, like, we have this being of good and pure, like, of this being of good, and, like, basically we have Rava and Vatu. That's what they've done. We have Ozpin and Salem is like this force of evil or whatever.
Probably that's where we're going.
I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. I mean, obviously I could be wrong. Who knows? I mean, I still think Ozpin's sketchy, but we don't know. We don't know.
And in the meantime, Crow's like running things for Ozpin, and but this is all we're taking off later now, so who knows where we're going to be at? Are
we going to see Winter? That's really what I care about.
That's the important thing.
That's what Delaney cares about.
I assume we'll see Winter.
I would hope so.
Probably not right away, but
no.
I don't know. Most relevant, I think, is what's happening with Cinder because she was such a vital part of last season. So we'll see what's going on with her.
And she was kind of a redeeming aspect of Volume 3 is like because she was so interesting.
Yeah, what she was doing was awful.
Yes.
Except for the backstory episode, everything Cinder did was super bad narrative wise, but she herself is interesting. So that's like it's like that's the main thing with the show. Is like even if the narratives are not good, the characters are interesting. So at least we'll care about them. So Cinder's the stuff. So yeah, Cinder's an interesting character with a good design and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens to her. So relevantly, in terms of our heroes, so we're starting off with RWBY with the remnants of Team Juniper. By the way, are you over her Pyrrha dying yet? I rewatched her die yesterday.
I mean, I didn't call that. I was like, Pyrrha's dead, so I feel like I had come to terms with Pyrrha dying. Like,
we've
before
been
it happened.
speculating the whole season that
I was
probably
like, Pyrrha's
Pyrrha
dead.
would die, maybe someone else. But that was the quick rant about that. By the way, I actually hated how they did that with we knew someone was going to die. They'd been foreshadowing that. They started foreshadowing Pyrrha dying.
Delaney thought Blake was going to die. It was awful.
Blake might have. That would.
Dylan was tormenting me all season, being like, Blake's going to die.
But no, something happened to Yang instead of Blake. Like that was the dying version. So you'll see a lot of counter discourse to Game of Thrones, where it's like, I hate this show where everyone always dies. It's like, people are like, oh, it's so realistic. No, that's not realistic. It's like the opposite of realistic. But the refreshing, and this is very level one, the refreshing thing about a show where anyone can die at any time is that you don't have what happened with RWBY Volume 3. Like, there's no, I know someone's going to die. It won't happen until the finale because that's the most important time and it won't be a major character. No, what's refreshing is that it can be any character. It can be any time. Right. It's really suspenseful. I hate the what they did with Volume 3, which is we're going to kill someone off in the finale. It's going to be obvious. It's not going to happen until then. It's going to be like, so I really hope we don't go back to this to season 4.
Yeah, because that was the thing. Like, and the whole this is a turning point in RWBY. It's getting darker. Blah blah. Like, shut up, okay? Yeah. It was so irritating.
It was really irritating.
It was so annoying. Like
we need to make this post about how it's not suitable.
That was literally
the show was not much darker after that post, that post.
But it's just so dumb. Like, okay, one, you don't have to murder your characters to make your show darker, for the record. And then, it's just so, don't do this. It's not edgy or cool. It's just annoying.
So,
you can kill off characters, that's fine. But, don't do it this way. It's annoying.
Don't do it to make it to as a turning point for the show. That's stupid.
The show, we're killing Pyrrha and it's gonna be so cool. And the show's we're dark and edgy now. Oh my god.
Look, if the members of Team RWBY are off limits in terms of having,
which I'm fine with
in terms of having them die, then you just have to accept the fact that there's not really stakes with them.
Exactly. It's just no.
But what?
You act like. It's so irritating.
So you just have to base it around that. So either kill a bunch of people off or don't kill people off, but don't do that. I hope that's not done again because I remember that being annoying. Anyway,
that was super annoying. Fine, kill people off. I mean, not that I really want people on Team RWBY to die, but let's have some stakes here, people.
And I guess the finale was supposed to be stakes. Pyrrha dies and Yang's arms cut off, and everyone's sad and the royal dick. But it felt a little bit. Anticlimactic after you'd been hyping the stakes all season.
Well, that's the thing. It was somebody if Blake had died Delaney would have been done. Still be upset.
Yeah.
But I don't. It's just it's fine, kill people, but I don't know. It's just awful and annoying.
Awful and annoying. Okay. So, but by the way, quickly, the other thing is I forgot about this, but Pyrrha throws her shield and then Cinder shoots the arrow and it goes around the shield and comes back and then pins her. It looked really cool, but I hated that. That's the stupidest thing. It's so frustrating. Why are you?
It's in Wanted when
it's Wanted. Why are you dooming one of our characters from some nonsensical arrow thing? Okay. So, okay, we're
also you killed the most interesting character in Team Juniper. Why?
Yeah, and now we're gonna spotlight.
Now we're stuck with John.
Yeah, and they love John, so it's gonna be insufferable.
I know it's he's literally the self-insert character.
Yeah.
So
more on that. Okay, quickly. So, Team RWBY separated. Like I said,
sad.
Yang with at her house, Blake parts unknown, RWBY going off with Team Juniper, and Weiss in the Schnee Mansion, presumably. So the big question for me going to the season is how long are they going to keep this up? And I worry that the answer is half the season.
Yeah, I'm concerned.
This is very similar to where Voltron is right now.
Yep, I was going to say it's like Voltron, except I actually have more confidence that Voltron would bring the team back together sooner.
Well, Voltron, has a professional writer in charge, and Miles is writing this, who's not that good. No. We'll talk about Miles. Miles, self-admitted, cannot write romance at the end, so we'll talk about this. But Miles in general did a good job with Volume 3, but we'll see. So I don't know. Certainly the whole first episode they're going to be apart. I'm very, very concerned that Team Ranger is going to be super unexciting, and
it's going to be a thing for a really long time.
And then they're going to try to make Ruby and John a thing, and if they do that, it's going to be awful. And
please no.
And we're barely going to check in on the other Team RWBY members. So I really hope that this is resolved soon. Predictions on how many episodes until all 4 are together again.
Okay, what I want is 6 episodes. What we're gonna get is 10.
Wow, that's really pessimistic. I'm gonna say 4. I think that's a reasonable number. 6, that's a long time. I don't know if they're gonna be apart for 6 episodes.
I mean, I could.
That's a long time. I understand.
Well, the thing is, it's hard to understand. My thing is I could actually see them. We might not get them back together this season. Think about obviously we haven't started, we don't know. And this is Delaney being super pessimistic, but also looking at this stupid 13 season arc thing. We're talking about so we literally have no idea where Blake is. Yang is they're going to make her go through all this stuff and overcome. It's going to be super annoying. I'm not ready.
I have no confidence they're going to handle Yang's.
They're going to do this awful. And I just know I'm going to be so angry the whole time.
Yeah.
And then so we're going to have Team Ranger doing stuff. And then occasionally we'll flash to whatever Yang's doing or whatever Blake's doing or whatever Weiss is doing. And then I feel like we're going to get reunited in pieces, very, very slowly. I could see again, because they do this to Blake all the time. They'll probably all get back together except Blake, and Blake will be somewhere. And I'll be I want to cry. Because it's, we've been scattered, and I'm just trying to think of what event could occur. Other than some grim apocalypse, which that already happened. It could happen again. I don't know. Bring everybody back together. So who knows?
They'll just from some point RWBY will try to round up the troops or something. That's all the fanfics go. So,
but I think my super actually, I think I don't think they're gonna get back together this season. They're gonna do this to us.
No, I don't think. I don't think they'll do that. But
well, my thing is it's hard with the episodes aren't very long, and then we have the they're literally scattered to the winds. We know where Yang is. We know where she is, and we know where Weiss is. But Weiss could also I don't know. Weiss has things to do, and so I don't know. And I don't
really know if Weiss has things to do. But
I just don't I don't know if even Weiss running the company now. What's going on? Because her dad. That was the thing. Part of it too was her dad's company was under fire and stuff. So I think she's probably going to have a very similar arc to Asami in book 2, where it's building the family's company back together and stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll see if that's where they go with it. So I think I would say that for episode 1, I don't expect them to show. I don't even expect them to show
your Yang,
Weiss, Blake, or Yang until the very end. Until the very end of the episode is what I would say, and then they'll do something in this trailer where they show them for 2 seconds. That'd be my base level expectation. Is and then I would say by episode 4, RWBY will start rounding up the troops or something. It would be.
I could see them going to visiting Weiss.
It's a real narrative mistake to keep apart your main characters for a whole season. I think they probably know that.
I don't know. A great deal of Volume 3 was we didn't even see Team RWBY.
Yeah, that is true.
So I don't know.
We'll see. At the very least, by the end of episode 4, they should have the other 3 doing prominent things, and
I definitely I would honestly. I'm fine if they don't get back together really soon, as long as they show everyone doing things. I'd be okay with that. I just don't want Team Ranger for 4 episodes, and I'm so tired of Jean. Show me somebody who isn't Jean, please.
Yeah. I won't be okay if they don't get back together, but that's just a personal view. I
want them back together, but I'm if we're talking worst case scenario here,
I guess so. I need to see my RWBY and Weiss scenes, or else
I need I just need to see Blake. That's the thing. That's Delaney's benchmark for the season. Is are we going to see Blake more than Volume 3? Because that'll automatically make it better because that was really annoying in Volume 3.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, now it's rant time, and then at the end, if we have time, we'll do a quick wish list for things we want to see this season. So, less time. We've been unsurprising when we talk about RWBY, we go forever. Like that's what happens. So, okay, so on there, they did a Tumblr Q&A, the RWBY staff, and since it's on Tumblr, unsurprisingly, we're having someone ask about gay representation on the show.
Because like forever ago, they were like,
so last season in their preseason, they're like, yeah, we're gonna have at least one gay character, like, and they're like, they already exist, and like it's gonna be, and then that didn't happen last season.
No, like we got really excited about it, and we're like, where's the gay? Where is it?
They're like Monty specifically designated like characters, you know. So and then they just didn't do it last season. So let's read Miles's answer to this Tumblr question. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. We don't need to read the question. So Miles says, so we've actually already had some LGBT plus characters in the show, but didn't really go out of our way to draw attention to it. We don't want it to be a thing. As we explore more about all of our characters, it'll definitely come up. We just want it to feel natural, if that makes sense. Also, speaking personally, I know I want to get better when it comes to writing romance. I'm just not great at it yet. Yeah, we know, Miles. First of all, that's the first. We've seen your attempts. We know. Okay. So, here's the quick version of the rant on this. I don't know if it'll be quick, but the obvious response to this is that this is a very typical straight person answer to this.
This is a typical garbage answer.
Well, yeah, hand in hand, but I don't mean that. But so we don't want it to be a thing is the main thing. So he's saying that what he's essentially saying is the typical crap that you get from people who don't care about queer representation is that you don't want to quote unquote force it, or you don't need to like specifically have it, or it's disingenuous or something like that. So we don't want it to be a thing. He doesn't want to have to explicitly portray it. So there's the point A is that it's not a thing unless you actually show it. You can't just have characters that you're saying in your heads are gay in the background. Like that means nothing to the audience.
That's literally not how it works.
It's not how it works because you're just not showing any relevant information to the audience. And the second, and here's the frustrating part, is that why don't you want to call attention to same-sex romances on the show, but you do want to call attention to opposite-sex romances? There have been many, many examples in the show when they've had straight feelings or straight romances portrayed that are not relevant to the plot, that you just want to show because you're showing romances is valid. But you have John in the beginning, John probably liking RWBY. You have Weiss's feelings for Neptune. You have whatever they're doing with Blake and Sun.
God, don't even talk about that.
I'm actually the Sun defender of the podcast. How much? Yeah, that we haven't discussed that. Sun and Neptune. What's up with them?
Where are they? Well, I don't.
Nobody cares. Okay, so we have Pira's crush on John, and then I completely forgot about this, to be honest, until I read the finale. But we actually have a tragic romance arc with Pira and John, culminating in them kissing, and then Pira shoving John into a locker, which is still the best thing. Like I forgot about that, but it's so good. And so there's all these instances when they're drawing attention to these characters' straight sexualities. And this answer is inherently just nonsensical given that, and pretty bigoted, like in my opinion.
Pretty much.
We don't really go out of our way to draw attention to it. We don't want it to be a thing. The fact that he like unironically wrote a thing in quotes, and he like doesn't understand that this is like the type of thing that'll get people.
Was it people? So like as a gay. And I watch and as a gay,
TM.
As a gay who watches television and like all of this stuff, we don't want to make it a thing. What? Like, you don't want me to see it? Like, that doesn't make any sense. It's just so stupid. Like, we don't want to make, like, so basically the idea is, well, we don't want, like, you can write a gay character and not make it about them being gay, but you have to tell us they're gay. Like, that's just how it works. Like, oh, we have gay characters. Where are they? Do I need a microscope to see them? Like, I don't understand. Ugh, it's so irritating. Like, just give it to us. Just be like, they're gay. Okay, show it to us. Well, granted, if we're in season 5 or whatever, because 13 playing here, and they're like, oh, so and so's gay. No, that's not okay. You can't just say that. You have to show it to us.
So to me, I think it is obvious at this point that Monty intended
Yes.
Blake and Yang to be a thing.
I would agree.
I think that's fairly apparent.
I think that's pretty obvious.
Now, what Miles is saying is we don't want to go out of our way to show them, don't want it to be a thing. The problem is it's not a thing unless you show it. You can't just have this like.
Oh yeah, we have gay characters. Where are they? Are they in camouflage? Like, where are they?
This plays into the this is like the most awful instincts that people who have no idea what they're talking about with this play into, where it's like, oh, I hate when you'll hear people, these Miles and Carrie are their type of people, and they literally win on one of their stupid.
Well, it's like they're just gay. Like you don't have to make it a thing, and like that is like this. So that is the most irritating thing to ever hear as a queer person. Is just like, really.
We don't want validating like my existence to be a thing. Oh. Like, wow, you're not a nice person.
They act like people act like making a character gay doesn't necessarily make everything about that character gay. But that's the thing, that we don't make it a thing. Like, just shut up. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Just it's so irritating.
So Miles and Carrie literally, I think Carrie said these, went on a podcast talking about Avatar and Korra and said, Carrie's like, I don't know if I liked what they did with Korra. This is me paraphrasing. The Korra saw me because it was like, I didn't
they made it a thing.
They made it a thing, and like, there's no build up, and like, he was one of those people. So,
which is like, again, all of that is like incorrect.
It's the same thing. It's incorrect, and it's the same thing. By the way, listen to all of our Korra podcasts.
Yes, you should do that.
From the spirit world. So it's the same type of thing in that, it's just, basically it comes down to you just don't want to show same-sex romances. You don't care. You don't want it. You don't want the representation. Because, and you're valid, and you're like rationalizing that by saying that you don't want to go out of your way to show, you don't want to like have something not relevant to the plot.
It's as if having a gay character and making it a thing is a bad thing, which is like, and they don't want to say it is, but like that's what they mean, and that's
what they mean. It's what you mean, and
like, don't tease us. Like, don't be like, oh yeah, we have gay characters. Oh yeah, we have gay characters. Like, where are they?
This is a show. It's even more frustrating for RWBY because this is a show if our four main characters like had romance potential with each other, which would be so much better.
That would be amazing.
Like, that's part of the inherent draw to it. Like, all of the ships are like, who even ships like John and anyone? Like, all of the ships are with the female ships with the main characters, and just. Regardless of if you care about that or not, just having this attitude towards it is pretty toxic, and I have no faith that Miles or Carrie will ever execute this correctly. Someone sent me a pretty smart ask at some point saying that do you think this is a result of, I'll find the exact wording, but kind of like inbreeding within Rooster Teeth. And I think that's kind of exactly what this is. Like, they go in shop for kind of everything at Rooster Teeth with they've gone a little bit out for some of the recent voice talent, but for writing, for all of their animation, for that said, do you think it's because Mile works in an echo chamber of similarly minded individuals who are not typically concerned with social issues like proper gay representation, which maybe expand your writer base? Diversity makes for better stories. So the solution to this is, of course, that you bring in a queer writer and someone who is not like-minded. But if you always talk to the same people in your social circles within the same people, and you're working with all the same people,
it'll never occur to them, and none of them care. Like,
they're never going to listen even to this podcast. Like, they're not even going to listen to any sort of thing outside of this.
They've made it quite clear at this point that they don't care. And the thing that's really irritating is we're dealing with this, they are not controlled by some big network like Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network. Again, Cartoon Network is A+.
There's no reason for them not to do this.
There is literally nothing. They can do whatever they want.
Yes, their fans are predominantly people that might not react well to this.
Yes,
but at the same time, it's not like they, So that's the reason why they wouldn't do it. But because they have a certain fan base, the video game, video game Gamergate type fans.
Yeah, I was about to say Gamergate. Yep, exactly.
Those are the people. Generally, Rooster Teeth fans are nice, so I don't think they would be the ones too much into Gamergate, but I'm not sure. Quickly, to wrap things up here, we've obviously gone over time. We're going to record another podcast of this. So, quick season 4 wish list. So I had something in mind for this, but I don't remember. But I want first thing, I want them to meet up again sooner than now. I mean, obviously, we want the White Rose and the Bumblebee. Delaney wants. I don't even remember what you ship in this. I think it's like Blake and Ruby.
Ladybug.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Blake and Ruby. I've shipped it from like day one.
No, you went around with a few things. I think.
It was always in the beginning. It was always like, no, you remember you got me on to White Rose.
Okay. Yeah.
But no, at the beginning it has always been Ruby and Blake, and I ship all of it honestly, except Yang and Ruby because that's not okay. But the rest of it, yes.
I would like, I don't know. I had something like very broad thing in mind. I mean, I would like a better, season long narrative arc.
I kind of want some actual stakes. Not that I want someone to die, but like make me feel concerned.
Yeah, I do think that was like a bad thing with last season in spite of,
They were like false stakes. And I'm like, this isn't interesting.
Yeah.
And then like, I want some big, great mythology thing, but then I want it explained. Like, I don't care if we have to go to some stupid library and we have to have an episode where
I would like...
I want to learn things, please.
They need to work on the mythology. They need to either do something with the maidens or kill it. I would like Ruby's eye thing explained. I'd like to know who Salem is. I'd like to know what's going on with, and even if what's going on with Ozpin, and even if we don't know, we don't need to know all these things right away, but it needs to be done in a way that's kind of like, it's like an arc throughout the season that leads us to a place.
This is kind of a prediction, not so much as a wish list, though it's definitely something I enjoy. I mean, Hello Avatar is amazing. I think like a travelogue kind of thing, like Journey. Like, I kind of think that's where we're going. A little, like, we're going to be in different places, like, freeing people of the Grim. So I'm kind of excited for that, and I think that's what we're doing. And if not, I want more of it. Like, just going, like, I want to see more of Remnant. Like, this is kind of really exciting. Like, we're no longer bound to Beacon. Like, we can go everywhere.
I think they'll do that. I think they're gonna go different places, and I think
I'm really excited about that because, we went to a few different places. Like, we went into town a lot. It was like, oh, we're in town. This is exciting. But like, it was like, oh, we're going to Hogsmeade, y'all.
Yeah, no, that's what it was. Yeah.
No, so like this will be exciting, and like, especially like wherever the heck Blake is.
Yeah. Well, so we'll see. I think she's probably a few places. I don't know. We'll think of things as we go too. I need to get reintegrated to the RWBY world. Explain semblances? No, we don't need to get into that. No. But we don't need the show to do that. But good, more high quality fight scenes.
Yes, please.
I would like for them not to do the super dark tone whole season.
Yeah,
and they had an ask on that. I don't think it doesn't seem like they're going to do that. So I think the show is most enjoyable when it's like fun times between the main characters or like fun fight scenes. Like I do think the show is, for me, or at least this could just be a personal opinion, not as good when it's like super dark. Like, well, like scenes. The
group dynamic is so important to this show, so I'm just really concerned about where we're going right now.
Yeah.
So
okay, so we'll think about some other things, but that's our brief wish list. Let us know what you would like to see from Volume 4.
Yes.
You can leave us YouTube comments. I ask that you be respectful if you leave us YouTube comments.
Please.
We have a bad track record with that, but you're welcome to, of course, and I'll respond. You could leave us Tumblr asks or comments on the website, overlyanimated.com. Click on the article, and you can leave comments below. And yeah, stay tuned for our coverage of Volume 4. We'll probably have podcasts up after the public premiere. Probably.
I am very excited for RWBY though. Like, I'm super excited.
Yeah. Soon we'll probably get the theme song leading up to the week, and then we'll get like episode 1. It's going to be good stuff. I don't know if we have confirmed how many episodes the season is. I would assume the same as the previous ones, but we'll see. And it's going to be good stuff. So looking forward to that. I hope you tune into our coverage here over overlyanimated.com. You can also subscribe on iTunes or subscribe to our RWBY specific iTunes feed. Pay no heed to the negative reviews on that on that feed. Also, if you were going to leave a negative review, thank you for leaving it there and not on our main feed, but you can check us out there, and you can consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/overlyanimated. We couldn't do this podcast without our patrons. Thank you very much to Mitch Cordell, Beatrice, Nate, Andy, Jamie, Rachel, John, Ryan, Catherine, Taylor, Devon, Jade, John Phoenician, Victoria, and Katrin, aka Fever, Mitch Gunner, C Beach, Change, Nathan, Fillion, Buzz, Like Your Mailman, Rachel, Jenny, Barbara, Brian, Cook Cat, Needle, Diamond Day, Jewel, Garfield, Fusion, Skylark, Patron Cation. Oh yeah, we have a RWBY nickname, Rachel Rose. That's cool. So yeah, shout out to, I know Andy watches, I know Rachel watches. I wonder Well, if other patrons who watch RWBY, we'll figure that out too in the patron group on Facebook. So thank you guys very much for listening. Upcoming podcasts are Justin and Michelle are doing a Ponyo retrospective this week, and then we're getting into a Steven Universe Roundtable later in the week on Pink Diamond Theories. So fun stuff there. Last comments, Delaney?
Just good stuff. I'm excited for RWBY.
Yeah. Thumbs up. Cool. Thank you guys very much for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.